Hello and welcome to our Capstone presentation. We are Max, Ryan, Alex, Will, Sam, and Duke. And in this video, we will be walking you through our Capstone project, CoronaHub.
CoronaHub is a web application that is designed to help users stay healthy and informed about the COVID-19 pandemic. It allows users to quickly find information through health checklists, quizzes, and a chatbot. I'd like to present to you a demo of our application.
When users visit CoronaHub, they arrive at the home page. This page contains a brief description of what the site does. Some features of CoronaHub allow the user to save their progress. The home page is where users can log in or create an account. On the quizzes page, users can find a list of short quizzes about COVID-19. Each quiz card informs the user of how difficult the quiz is and includes an icon that represents the category of the quiz. Once a user has started a quiz, they have as much time as they need to answer the questions. CoronaHub is all about staying informed, so if a user gets an answer incorrect, they can see why. If the user wants to improve their score, they can retake the quiz, or they can return to the quizzes page. That's better. On the checklist page, users can find a list of activities which encourage a fun and healthy lifestyle. Each activity card informs the user of how many times the activity has been checked and includes an icon that represents the category of the activity. Users can filter activities by category to find the activities that are most relevant to them. Each activity will remain checked until the user returns the next day. When users visit the chatbot page, they're greeted with a personalized message. If the user would like some information about the chatbot, they can click the Help button. The chatbot is powered by IBM Watson and has been customized to answer a wide range of questions. Now that we've explored the checklist and quizzes, our history is starting to show our progress. If we want to clear our history, we can do that from the Overview tab. Here is also where users can verify the email address associated with their account or reset their password. If a user is an administrator, they can access the Content Management tabs. From the Checklist Management tab, an administrator can add, modify, or delete a checklist activity. Let's add one now. Now we can review our newly added activity and save it to the database. In a rapidly changing situation, staying up to date with the latest information is important. When new information comes to light, it may be necessary to modify existing data. Let's do that now. On the About page, users can find our mission statement, links to each of our team members' GitHub pages, and our data policies.
Our goal was to create a service which helps free up communication systems that can be overwhelmed by users trying to find basic information. The target audience for this is anyone who wants to learn more and stay up to date with the coronavirus. To reiterate the main features, we have quizzes, checklists, a chatbot, user profiles, and a content management system. The quizzes allow users to test their knowledge about topics related to COVID-19. The checklists allow users to keep track of various tasks that can help them stay healthy, safe, and connected. The chatbot is a means for users to ask questions and quickly get responses to those questions. We have user profiles so that users can check their history of the various checklists and quizzes that they've done. And we have a content management system for administrators to allow them to create and manage the quizzes and checklists on the site. Some additional features are a dark theme, history management, including removing your own history, and password management, including resetting your password. In the future, we hope to add location-based chatbot interaction, better responsiveness for mobile, additional global statistics, update notifications, user-requested content, and user analytics.
So next, we'd like to talk a little bit about the process that we use to develop CoronaHub, as well as the software's architecture. So if we look at the architecture, it was built using Firebase as a backend, React for the front end, and IBM Watson for the chatbot interactions. So let's start with Firebase, because that's pretty much central to the whole project. Firebase provides several key services, which include hosting, a NoSQL database, user authentication, as well as serverless functions for automatically running backend code in response to certain events. React is a popular front-end framework, and it's component-based, so this allows common interface elements to be reused and decrease code duplication. It also provides powerful stateful components, which allow dynamic responses to user input, modals, all that sort of thing. And finally, IBM Watson. IBM Watson's a powerful AI platform that provides rapid responses to user queries, which are passed in natural language and then parsed and given a response also in natural language. Watson is connected to the front end through React and to the back end through Firebase functions.
Next, we'd like to talk a little bit about the development process that we use to make this application. Over the course of 6 months, we went from not really knowing each other to becoming a high-performing software development team. In the initial stages, we started with project selection, deciding on which project we'd like to take on. After that, we set up our infrastructure, which included setting up Git, Trello, and Slack. After we got our infrastructure set up, we started to get into a routine. Some of the major steps that went on during the development of this project included designing the application as well as making the specifications. We then decided on an architecture for the app and what technologies to use, and then created a template application that we could get off the ground with. Once we did that, we completed each major feature and finally ended up styling and polishing the front end to make it look very modern. The workflow that we used was bi-weekly meetings, Trello tasks, as well as virtual mob and pair programming.
We'd like to take some time to talk about how we divided the work among our project. So, as far as division of labor, work was divided into much smaller tasks, which could then be completed in a couple of days each. Each member of our team contributed to several different areas of the project, and each member contributed equally, so no one really felt locked into any given area. On the front end, the home page was created by Duke, with additional styling from Alex and Max. The sign-in modal was created by Will, with additional features and styling added by Alex, Max, and Ryan. The quiz pages were created by Ryan, with additional styling from Alex and Max. The checklist page was created and styled by Duke. The chatbot page was created and styled by Alex. The account overview sections were created and styled by Alex, and the content management sections were created and styled by Duke. The about page was created and styled by Max.
For the back end, the Firebase setup and configuration was all done by Duke. The initial database schema design was completed by Sam. Database emulators for testing were created by Will, as well as batch uploading functionality. For the quiz submission logic, Ryan and Duke worked on that.
The initial research into the IBM Watson Assistant platform was conducted by Sam and Will. Setup, training, and connecting of Watson was implemented by Sam. We would like to give special recognition to Duke for introducing us to nearly every piece of architecture we used and for providing valuable mentorship to guide us through the full stack development process. During the development process, we encountered several unexpected challenges which we had to overcome.
Watson. Watson's great. Watson's also run by IBM, and IBM has given a lot of really odd verbiage in how they do their accounts. And so when we connected the chatbot, the first thing that we encountered was that the test messages that we could send it through their interface worked absolutely fine, gave the correct response every time, but every time we tried to hit the input, a default response that says, I don't know the answer to that would pop out in every single prompt. So as it turns out, the assistant is advertised as free. It's not really free. You actually have to pay money for the Plus membership for it, but you can do a free trial, which lasts 30 days. So by the end of 30 days, that was about 10 or 11 days ago at this point. And it then prompts you to take another 30 days on the 30-day free trial. So it's really a 60-day free trial. None of this is told to you, so you just sort of have to feel it out every single time. It was really quite frustrating, but we ended up getting through it just by poking our way around their interfaces until it worked.
Another challenge we faced was trying to use Agile. Initially, we set out to implement a strict Scrum development process. However, none of us had any actual experience with Scrum, and the process turned out to be a lot more time-consuming in practice than we expected. After developing our initial user stories, we eventually transitioned to a much more organic process. Simply meeting regularly and discussing the project turned out to be more productive.
One of the biggest challenges we faced was the global pandemic. Just before the start of the Capstone section, COVID-19 began to spread across the country, and Portland State University moved to a virtual environment. Throughout the entire development process, our team never once met face-to-face. Instead, we met exclusively through Zoom, coordinated meeting times online, and used asynchronous communication such as email and Slack to reach each other. After a while, we were able to get into a routine that allowed us to stay productive despite the unusual circumstances.
Although our group didn't have a traditional sponsor, after deploying our project to the development environment, we got feedback from our Capstone advisor, Bruce Irvin, as well as some other tester. Overall, the feedback has been very positive. But the best thing is about the lessons we have learned so far. First and foremost, prior to this project, several of us has never worked on a web application before. So this project provided us with a new and unique challenge, which gave us hands-on experience with several new technology and complex code base, especially when we build it from scratch. Secondly, is about working remotely. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we were forced to learn how to coordinate and work as a team to produce a high-quality piece of software. We adapted to using Slack as our primary communication channel, map and pair programming over Zoom, becoming more familiar with using Git and utilizing Trello for keeping track of tasks as they went from backlog to active to finish. All of them are done remotely.
As one of 3 teams with a non-traditional sponsor, we faced a unique challenge and opportunity. On one hand, we had less guidance and no one to fall back on if we were unsure of our direction. But on the other hand, as the authors of our own specifications, we were given enormous freedom and creative license to come up with our own ideas. This gave us the chance to not only develop a piece of software, but to design it from the ground up. We would like to thank Bruce Irvin for giving us this unique opportunity, and thank you for watching. To learn more and explore CoronaHub for yourself, visit coronahub.web.app.